All right. Well, thanks for taking time out of your busy day.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited. This is cool.
It's kind of cool to get the behind the walls view of the Peabody
Yeah.
Essex, because we usually come in and all we see is the shiny stuff, So seeing what's going on behind the scenes, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, de-install happening right behind you right now.
Right now, yeah. So everybody gets asked the same 3 questions.
Okay.
How long have you lived in Salem?
I've lived in Salem a little over 4.5 years.
And where did you move here from? Where'd you
Moved
come
here
from?
from Lynn, Massachusetts.
Oh, so
my
right down the
hometown.
road.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just about a 25 minute drive from my mom.
All right, perfect. Is that good or is that bad? That's good.
It's good. It's like enough distance that like we're far apart,
Yeah.
but close enough that I can still like do laundry for free on the weekends.
Perfect. Perfect. How did you end up here at the Peabody Essex?
So a job had opened up as adult programs coordinator. I had been at the Lynn Museum for 2.5 years and had just finished grad school, and was making like $12 an hour and was like, yeah, I got to start paying back those loans sometime soon. So one of my former colleagues at the museum actually had a part-time gig similar to what I was doing at PEM early on, and was like, hey, you should apply. I was like, all right, we'll see. I didn't have any art museum experience. I worked in an art gallery in college here and there, but I figured what's the worst that could happen? They could tell me no. So I had a phone interview, and then like within the next week I had another phone interview, and then I had a bunch of group interviews, and then I got the great news that I got hired. And I think it was actually one of the quickest hiring processes here at PEM.
No kidding, really?
Yeah, usually it takes a while.
Sure.
Like some people, it took like 8 months for them to get hired.
Goodness.
And for me, I think it took less than 2. So that was pretty cool.
It's like the longest 8 weeks of your life, isn't it?
Right.
Like you're waiting for that call back.
I had gotten a part-time job at the Harvard Art Museums, and so I was like starting to fill out paperwork, and I basically had an orientation coming up that Monday. So I called my supervisor, Michelle Moon, and was like, hey, are you guys actually going to hire me? Because if you are, I'd rather not go to orientation on Monday at the Harvard Art Museum.
Right.
So then she ended up calling me back that day and was like, yeah, you got the job.
Good. So one of the things I do in Salem is I do the volunteer Halloween for Kylie Sullivan and answer questions of tourists at the booth.
You are so brave.
It's fun. I like it. But when I go to describe the Peabody Essex to people, I'm like, you just kind of have to go.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of have to see it.
Yeah.
It's a weird museum, right?
It's a weird museum because I don't think it's a conventional museum. Like
it's not an art museum. It's not
It's art and culture, but like you can see our maritime gallery and see that, but then you also might, go into the Strongbeast gallery, and it's just not everything makes sense, if you will. Like I feel like we're cutting edge in certain ways, and then we're also traditional in certain ways.
Yeah.
It's an interesting place. For sure. And then we don't really have like the witchy stuff too. So I think some people expect to see
break.
Some sort of witchy component. But that's not really there, at least not right now.
Sure.
There's some things in the works.
Well, that's the beauty part of it, is it does change and evolve. And when I came in, I didn't realize you had the more modern Japanese culture exhibit. I'm definitely going to come back and check that out.
Absolutely. Yeah, because a lot of our traveling shows get a lot of the media attention, but we're also trying to rotate objects quite regularly in our permanent galleries too. So the other day I just went up into our Siemens gallery, which has a lot of American decorative art, and there were a few pieces in there that I had no idea were in there. So that was really a happy discovery. Yeah. For sure.
I haven't done one of these in a while, so I've already kind of blown up my spot on my second question. But the question is, if people see you on the street, how did they know you? Do you think here?
Yeah, through here. I've done a lot with Creative Collective and John Andrews. And so he usually posts some sort of candid photo of me doing something during some event.
You know me from the internet. Yeah.
Honestly, though, I went to Lobster Shanty Prom, and a woman came up to me at the shanty and was like, oh my God, you're Doneeca. You're like a Salem celebrity. And I was like, what do you mean? She was like, I see your photo all the time on like Creative Collective and things like that. She's like, I've wanted to meet you for a while now. And I was like, oh my gosh. It was kind of crazy. But I also volunteer with Salem Main Streets. I'm a Salem Arts Festival committee member. I've been doing that for a number of years, I think since I moved to Salem. I'm here, there, and everywhere.
Do you feel, because I worked in Lynn for a while, so in total about 8 years.
Okay, yeah, that's a good chunk of time.
So, it's 5 and 3, but anyway. So there are cultural differences, obviously cultural differences between Lynn and Salem, but there does seem to be there seems to be more similarities than differences.
Oh, absolutely.
And I've always pictured it because I made that drive every morning at 4:30 in the morning, through Marblehead and Swampscott to get to Lynn, and it seemed like Marblehead and Swampscott were kind of in the way.
Yeah,
Almost.
kind of.
And you've been involved in the cultural aspects of both Lynn and Salem. Do you feel that similarity too?
Absolutely. For me, it's community. Community really drives a lot of what I do in my museum work. And Lynn has such a strong sense of community, and it's the community that helped me get to where I am today.
Sure.
And Salem, similarly, there's like that strong sense of camaraderie and strength in the community that, if something were to happen, we come together as one, and we really just celebrate the amazing things that are happening here. There's definitely a lot of similarities between Lynn and Salem, for sure. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here.
Well, that's kind of a thing too. It's like, do you feel like maybe you turning your back a little bit on your community by taking a gig here,
I've stayed involved in Lynn, so I've done some part-time work with Beyond Walls. I'm an alumni of Raw Artworks, and they have an awesome mentorship program.
Yeah.
So I've been a mentor there for 4 years now. I was president of the Alumni Council for a little bit. So I still try to stay connected to Lynn. My mom's still there, like I said. I'm there on the weekends doing laundry.
Close enough to do laundry and close enough to still be involved in the community.
Yeah. Lynn will always be my home and, my community. But it's been great to have so many relationships here in Salem and meet so many great people. It's nice to have two homes.
Oh, that's a good way to put it. Yeah. What are you doing to make Salem a better place?
For me, with my role here at PEM, it's just like opening our doors to everyone.
What is your role here at PEM? Precisely, what is your job?
Creative engagement producer is the title, but public programming is basically what I do. So I like to say that I like to create cool events that make people want to engage with the museum who otherwise wouldn't. I also like to spotlight what's going on in the community and give people the power to showcase themselves and their artwork in our spaces, because I think that's really powerful for somebody to say that, I did this performance at PEM, or I displayed my artwork at PEM. It really validates somebody as they're putting themselves out there and trying to make it as an artist or as a creative, and being able to support people in their work is really awesome. I feel very lucky to do that.
What are the challenges of engaging the community, both because it's such a heavily tourist town? Do you think in your head 50-50 between locals and tourists and engaging them, or do you focus more on the locals? Or
I try to focus more on the locals. It has been hard with the library situation that happened recently. I think there is definitely a disconnect. But with our new director, he seems very community focused, and it's really refreshing to have somebody who wants to focus on the folks who are literally right outside our doors. So I'm excited for the future here, I think community needs to be involved in every aspect, and so I'd love to just continue moving that forward.
Yeah, was for the new portion, the new wing that's opening up, was the overnight events thing, was that your idea?
It was.
I think that's like the best thing ever.
Thank you.
I am dying to be in here at 4:00 in the morning.
It's not happening.
What? No!
I know.
Can I still come at 4:00 in the morning?
You can. I don't think anybody will let you in though, but
I'll stand outside. Oh, well, hell, sorry.
I know, it's funny.
I'll cut this part out.
It got approved. It was in the press release. It was happening. I had this whole schedule, and then we basically had a come to Jesus moment about our bandwidth for that entire weekend.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And it was I don't know if this is actually possible.
Who's gonna be staffing this at 3:30?
When we also are open 10 to 5 Saturday and Sunday, we're free to the public. We're expecting thousands of people. So we've decided to table the idea, hopefully for next year, because there will be a couple of gallery spaces that aren't quite finished. So I'm saving the idea for when the entire wing is completely done.
What's your favorite thing that's in the new wing so far?
Favorite thing? The Maritime Gallery is really cool. There's a lot of objects in the gallery. They have this cool mural that they've installed. And they're also featuring stories of particular objects that people don't really know about. So it's been fun to listen in on those stories and see how they develop. because there are definitely some quirky pieces in the collection that you wouldn't otherwise think, like a piece of scrimshaw. Who cares? But
It's back to the weird museum thing
yeah,
again.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. And then, all 3 levels are going to be really, really fascinating, really cool stuff.
I read the article about the Hawaiian figure.
Cool. Yeah.
He seems cool.
I'm like slightly afraid.
Really?
I think having like a living God in your
That's
like,
a lot.
It's heavy, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like very much.
I've watched Ghostbusters enough times to know.
Yeah, I'm like a believer in like spirits and ghosts and things like that. So I'm just
Sure.
like, I don't want to rub Koo the wrong way, so to speak.
Stay on his good side.
Yeah, I want to stay on Koo's good side for sure.
Do you have a Salem ghost story?
I don't have a Salem ghost story. I do have a Lynn ghost story.
I'll take it.
So I used to work at the Lynn Museum.
Okay.
And one day I was in the library archiving photos. And it was myself. I was the only person in the building. And then one of our exhibition installers who was on the 2nd floor. So I'm in the library. It's dead quiet. And all of a sudden I hear this humming. And it's a female voice.
Okay.
Humming a lovely tune. And I thought it was Tim, our exhibition installer, playing a joke on me. So at lunch, I was like, Tim, really funny joke. Ha, ha, ha. And he was like, I wasn't there. I was like, no, that's not cool, Tim. Don't play jokes with me like that because I believe in ghosts. So we left it fine. And then maybe a couple months later, we had an event on the 1st floor and the bathrooms were backed up. So I ran to the 3rd floor to use the staff bathroom and it was dark. So I'm in the 3rd floor, going to the bathroom. I go to push open the door and then right behind me, I hear the humming again.
No.
The same voice, the same song. And I'm literally like, oh my God, I was just like, fuck it, I'm out. I was like, I don't even know if I can swear on this thing, but I was like, I am out of
That's the
here.
right response, though.
Yeah. So I ran down the stairs and like maybe chugged a glass of champagne and was like, all right.
Take the edge off. Well, I can tell you, not from personal experience, but from stories that a friend of mine told me, don't go to the 2nd floor at Turner's.
Oh.
Yeah, I'll tell you with the mic's off, but yeah, it's a thing. So I think the 1st floor is probably fine. 2nd floor, yeah.
Well, I mean, like a lot of our historic houses are also creepy. We do have some storage, I think on the 3rd floor of Gardner Pingree. And every time I go in there, I'm just like, because the storage is like near a bedroom. And I don't know. I'm just like,
Yeah, good.
I come in peace, not trying to disturb anyone. Just here to grab this one thing. I'll be out in a second.
I love it. Well, Doneeca, thanks for talking to me, taking time out of your busy day.
Yeah, this is fun. This is cool.
Good.
Yeah.
And I was DJing the shanty party.
I know you were. You
Yeah.
did an excellent job.
Thank you.
I had a good time.
It was super fun. So it was one of those things of like, I see her across the room, but I kind of got my hands full.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Well, Elizabeth was like, yeah, Chris. And I was like, did he DJ the shanty prom?
That was me.
It was you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I typed because I definitely had this conversation in person. It wasn't an online conversation that I had with.
It all seems like it's online at
It's
this
all,
point.
yeah.
Just like this is. All right. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, thank you.